Nigerians give their verdict on the 10th National Assembly's performance. Court refuses to grant Abba Kyari and two others bail. In Rivers, APC calls for state of emergency as the PDP sues for calm over crisis. And on the foreign scene, Cyril Ramaphosa vows new era for South Africa at the presidential inauguration. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Hour. I am Muhammad Kudu Abubakar. The 10th National Assembly marks their 1 year in office. Nigerians are clamoring for better political representation that will address the yearnings and aspirations of the people. The National Assembly has come under heavy criticism for its perceived inability to align itself with the will of the people. Trust TV's Amarachi Amushi has more.
On June 13, 2023, the 10th National Assembly of the Federal Republic of Nigeria was inaugurated. As they mark 1 year in office, Nigerians are evaluating their performance against the backdrop of the country's current state. There is a growing call for the Assembly to prioritize the needs of the people who elected them.
I don't think they put the masses into consideration, and that's why we have increase in the cost of living and electricity tariff and co. While the banditry on the other aspect is going up, but the standard of living is increasing and nothing is like really moving.
Speaking on the anniversary, residents of the FCT gave mixed reaction on the performance of Nigerian bicameral legislature vis-a-vis the current state of affairs.
Look at the local government autonomy that they were talking about. These are something that I believe the National Assembly should rush into it because we are touching the grassroots.
How are we view Nigerian? Nigeria begins from individual family and individual home. Most masses that are blaming the government, my sister, if you even dig deep to their own personal business, they are worse than the government.
By virtue of Nigerian population, they should not expect to please self. They should not expect to please what? The people. They should expect to please the constitution that brought them to that system.
A former federal lawmaker with over 10 years of legislative experience in both House of Representatives and Nigerian Senate, Senator Ita Enang, emphasized the important role of the National Assembly in the governance process.
I want to apologize to the public for having this impression. And I want to urge my friends, my brothers and sisters in the National Assembly to take the public seriously. Take the public seriously, because the public is right the way they're feeling. Because in your own response, sometimes in even reacting to what the public is feeling, it is a reaction without empathy.
An advocate of anti-corruption campaign, Sunday Amos, says the story of underperformance by the political leaders hasn't changed much with the current National Assembly.
At the end of 1 year of this administration, it's the story of corruption. The triangle is now complete, especially with this particular 10th Assembly. It has become Nigeria, the three arms of Nigerian government has become a triangle of corruption. It's a three arms zone of corruption. This is the image that some of us see from where we stand, and it is very unfortunate. I don't know where we're going to start the solution from, but presently what we are seeing after 1 year in office.
Nigeria continues to struggle with socio-economic inequality and poverty that have been often linked with the lack of political will by Nigerians' elites. The National Assembly, as the voice of the people, has taken its share of the blame for its lackluster performance in addressing the wants and needs of the people they represent. Amarachi Amoshi, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Personnel of the Nigerian police force have taken over all the 23 council secretariats and some critical government infrastructure in Rivers State. The move, which follows the breakdown of law and order in the various council secretariats over the tenure of local government council chairmen, is to forestall further bloodshed and to de-escalate violence after a police officer and a vigilante were killed at Ebere Omuma local government area of Rivers State. Conventional police officers and anti-riot police officers have been deployed to these facilities. The Rivers State Police Command further urged groups and individuals to be law-abiding, warning that anyone who intends to cause mayhem will be made to face the full weight of the law.
My job as a policeman is to protect lives and properties, and that's what we have gone out to do since morning. We are aware of the crisis that has to do with the tenure of the local government chairman. We have gotten one court order or the other about it. The Court of Appeal has given an order, and for everybody to exercise restraint till 20th of this month, just 3 days. So we expect everybody to respect it, not to take laws into their hands and allow peace to continue as it is. We are not taking it lightly. We are ready to go. Our officers have been on show of force. We have had additional men given to us from the headquarters. The equipment has been serviced. We are ready to go. This is just to assure members of the public that so far as we are concerned, we are ready to do our jobs of protecting lives and properties.
Still in Rivers State, the governor, Simina Layi Fubara, has sworn in the newly appointed caretaker committee chairman and members of the 23 local government councils, with a charge on them to eschew violence, maintain the peace, and be guided by the Constitution in order to promote unity, inclusive administration, and achieve progress at the grassroots. According to Fubara, the swearing-in will ensure seamless administration of local government areas following the expiration of the tenure of the elected chairman and councillors in the state. The report.
The governor performed the swearing-in at the Executive Council chambers of the Government House in Port Harcourt amid cheers, jubilations, with many saying the action is a step in the right direction, as it will douse tension and bring everybody in the political space together. It followed the screening and confirmation of the nominees for caretaker committee chairman and members by the State House of Assembly at the plenary presided over by its Speaker Victor Okojombo. The governor said the exercise demonstrated his administration's commitment to upholding the tenets of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria that does not provide for tenure elongation.
Count yourself very lucky and take this opportunity as a call for service. It is not a call that will make you see yourself as a superhuman, but an opportunity for you to protect the interests of your people and to also make us proud at this critical time that our decisions is not a mistake.
Governor Fubara wondered why tenure of elected officers will expire and they want to perpetuate themselves in office against their oath of office and the provisions of Constitution of Nigeria. The governor maintained the state will not welcome any insistence on tenure elongation for council chairman and advised the outgone chairman, vice chairman and councillors to let go and return home.
What is happening here now is a defense of democracy. We will not allow a wrong precedent to be created in this country. It is not about Rivers State, it's not about Fubara. But if in any way this attempt of tenure elongation succeeds in Rivers State, it becomes a norm in Nigeria.
Governor Fubara advised the newly sworn-in CTC chairmen to resume at their respective local government councils with utmost sense of duty and commitment to serve the people and protect the interest of Rivers State. He warned them against any form of confrontation, insisting that such is not in his nature and style, and advised them to be law-abiding as they take full control of the local government councils.
So for those people who are saying the only reason why we want to continue to be in the office is because elections are not conducted, we have more than 85% of the states in Nigeria that are being run by caretaker. Ours is different. You have your tenure. You have completed your tenure. It is proper. You let go. And life doesn't create vacuum. If you're not there again, doesn't mean, if your tenure has expired, doesn't mean I should say because I want to please you, I will allow you. No, it doesn't happen anywhere. People must take over, manage the affair, and elections be conducted.
Governor Fubara demanded an explanation on how finances of the 23 local government councils were managed in the last 3 years and directed the Auditor General of Local Governments to begin auditing the accounts and make the report available within the next 1 month.
Meanwhile, the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has called on the people of Rivers State to remain calm, law-abiding, and continue to work together for the continued stability, peace, and delivery of democratic dividends in the state. The party's call is in connection with the crisis in Rivers State over the tenure expiration of the state's local government council chairman. In a statement signed by its National Publicity Secretary, Debo Ologunagba, on Wednesday, the PDP cautioned the immediate past Rivers State local government chairman, whose tenure has expired, against any conduct that is capable of disrupting the peace in the state. This development follows the disagreement over a claim of tenure elongation of the local government council. Meanwhile, the All Progressive Congress APC chapter in Rivers State has called for the declaration of a state of emergency. The demand was made in Port Harcourt by the Caretaker Committee Chairman, Tony Okocha, during an interaction with the media. Okocha blamed the state governor, Siminalayi Fubara, for the unrest and said the state is at war, adding that the only way for residents to live in peace is for the federal government to declare a state of emergency in Rivers State. The Joint Union Congress of the Police Service Commission has called on President Bola Tinubu to relieve the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, over his alleged meddlesomeness and the recent recruitment of police constables. During a press briefing on Wednesday in Abuja, the union also alleged that some top officers within the Nigeria Police Force tried to smuggle names during the recruitment process. The aggrieved members of the union, while singing protest songs, described the reactions of the Nigeria Police Force as diversionary tactics. According to them, the Nigeria Police Force intends to prevent the president from noticing the unpreparedness of the police training schools to handle the training of the recruits owing to the sorry states of the facilities. The move comes as the Police Service Commission recently released 10,000 names of successful candidates employed from the recent recruitment exercise by the Commission. The list was later rejected by the Nigeria Police Force, who described the recruitment process as fraudulent. The Federal High Court in Abuja has refused to grant bail to the suspended former commander of the Intelligence Response Team, DCP Abba Kyari. Justice Emeka Nwite, who presided over the case, in his ruling, held that Kyari's bail was at the discretion of the court, in line with Section 161, subsection 2 of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act. The judge stated that the defendant had not shown any evidence to warrant the court to grant him bail. However, Justice Nwite refused to extend its earlier order, but granted an accelerated hearing in the case. Kyari and 4 members of the IRT were charged with conspiracy to deal in 17.55 kilograms of cocaine. They were also charged with dealing in cocaine without lawful authority, conspiracy to tamper with the cocaine, and unlawfully tampering with 21.35 kilograms of cocaine seized from 2 convicted drug dealers. Similarly, the Federal High Court in Abuja has again adjourned the ongoing trial against the leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, IPOD, Nnamdi Kanu, to September the 23rd, 25th, and 26th, 2024, following the inability of the trial to commence properly. Justice Binta Nyako made the adjournment after the defense counsels prayed the court to explore Section 17 of the Federal High Court Act, following the denial of his application to quash the remaining 7-count charges against Kanu. Section 17 of the Federal High Court Act states that, and I quote, "In any proceedings in the court may promote reconciliation among the parties thereto and encourage and facilitate the amicable settlement thereof." End of quote. This was the submission of the Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer, Aloy Ejimako, before Justice Binta Nyako, following the dismissal of a fresh application by Kanu challenging the jurisdiction of the court to entertain counts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, and 15 for being unconstitutional. The court held that it cannot overrule itself on issues it had already resolved, adding that the only option left for the applicant was to proceed on appeal. At the proceeding, Ejimako noted that trial cannot go on if his client's rights to fair hearing is being questioned. Still on the judiciary, Justice Ian Eko of the Federal High Court, Abuja, has dismissed a fundamental rights suit instituted by Binance executive Nadeem Ajarwala against the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission and the Office of the National Security Advisor. The case was dismissed due to the absence of Ajarwala's legal team during the proceedings. Ajarwala, who had approached the court seeking a declaration that his detention by Nigerian authorities was unlawful, also filed a request for costs in his favor. Earlier, his legal representative, Tonye Kurubo, withdrew from the case without giving a specific reason. The withdrawal occurred after reports surfaced that Ajarwala had fled the country following his detention. Kurubo formally submitted a notice of withdrawal of legal representation, prompting Justice Eko to acknowledge that Ajarwala no longer had legal counsel in his suit. The judge consequently issued an order striking out the fundamental rights case. This is News Hour on Trust TV. Coming up after the break, Muslim community in Katsina still in festive mood days after the Eid celebrations. More news when we return. Do stay with us. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is News Hour on Trust TV. Let's take a look at our top stories. Nigerians give their verdict on the 10th National Assembly's performance. And we also told you that court refuses to grant Abba Kyari and 2 others bail. Moving on, in 2010, the federal government obtained a $460 million loan from China's Exim Bank for the installation of closed-circuit television cameras, CCTVs, in Abuja, the federal capital territory, to assist security agencies in checkmating rising insecurity. But 14 years after, the initiative has not only been aborted, but circumstances surrounding it have remained unclear, with several probes and public outcry unable to resolve the puzzle. In this report, Noel Sampson speaks to FCT residents on the effects of the non-implementation of the Abuja CCTV project 14 years after. The report.
A drive through some major streets in the Federal Capital Territory reveals an infinitesimal number of CCTV cameras within the city center. According to these FCT residents, the absence of these cameras has affected the rate at which crime is tackled in Abuja.
Yes, actually, it will reduce a lot because most of the things that is happening, you can be able to know what is happening when you have this CCTV camera all over. Yeah, there's a lot of advantage. No, like for example, most of the occasions, I've seen many occasions that something like this happen. Through that, they could be able to discover You understand? They could be able to know the person, even they not capture the person immediately, but at least they can be able to see the face and be able to trace the person through the face.
For me, I feel that it's normal. Like if you're to put CCTV camera everywhere, it will help. People will know that yes, as they are walking around, they know that people are watching them. They will be conscious of things going on and knowing that yes, something is watching me. So there is no way I will actually do something bad and not get caught. Not only in Abuja, but at least we can start somewhere. I would wish they put it everywhere, mostly in all those remote environments, because you can see they are actually insecure. People are doing all manner of things.
These crimes happens in the street. It's a street things. Phone snatching, bike snatching, theft, all happen in the street. So when the houses in the street have CCTV cameras by their fence, you understand? They, of course, it will capture those scenes. It will capture those crimes clearly, and they'll be apprehended. So it is very, very important for CCTV cameras not only in offices.
Abuja is our heart and the capital and the heart of the nation. So we expect crime to reduce. We expect crime to be wiped out. Through the CCTV camera, it will be a deterrence to other people that want to commit crime.
CCTV cameras are a fundamental tool that help keep property secure even in people's absence, as their gift gives a whole new level of security and less money spent on personnel. With the rapid development in the FCT, many of the view that CCTV project has become imperative if the nation's capital must curtail the rise in crime and criminality. Noel Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
A fire outbreak has raised a section of the popular Ado Bayero Mall located at the Trade Fair Complex Zoo Road in Kano. 3 firefighting trucks from the State Fire Service moved to the scene to put out the fire. Although our reporter was restricted from accessing the section where the fire was believed to have been ignited, a staff inside the building who preferred anonymity, however, said the fire started around 12 noon this afternoon. She said it was not clear if an electrical fault ignited the fire or not, as she had quickly left along with our other staff for her safety. Others who were trapped were also evacuated to safety. 2 workers who suffered suffocation from smoke were rushed out of the building for medical attention. Customers who came for shopping were asked to leave just as children were stopped from going to the amusement section of the building to catch fun as part of Salah celebrations. Even after the firefighters succeeded in putting out the fire, the gates of the shopping mall remain shut. For many Nigerians, a plate of noodles is more than just a meal, but a budget-friendly option that brings the feel of home away from home. However, this goes to a meal for many residents, which was once a thriving nosiness for one family that runs it in Katsina. That family is facing the challenge of soaring inflation. Jamilu Mabai takes a visit to Katsina, where a family-run noodles joint is struggling to keep its doors open due to soaring prices. The report.
For many Nigerians, a steaming plate of noodles is a regular, handy, affordable and delicious meal. Abdullahi's story is a familiar one for many small businesses in Nigeria. He inherited his popular Indomie joint from his father, and with the profits, he and his siblings were able to graduate. However, soaring inflation is changing the narrative of that success story.
This is the biggest challenge I have ever experienced, this hyperinflation. When we go to markets, prices keep increasing.
The recent removal of fuel subsidy has added another layer of burden. Running the generator on petrol is simply unsustainable.
We can't on the generator. We just had to keep it aside, or you increase price of plates.
economic situation in da ake ciki.
Flour, sugar, and other ingredients have seen their prices skyrocketed. A year ago, a plate of noodles with 2 eggs cost 350 naira. But today, it will cost you 900 naira, a staggering increase of over 150%. The story is the same for bread, which has jumped from 300 naira to a staggering 800 naira. The pain isn't just for Abdullahi. His customers, mostly students and small business owners themselves, are feeling the pinch. Abdullahi sees a way out, but it requires capital he just doesn't have.
Dan da kai kamar yanzu misali kaga inda ina da isasshen capital
If to say I have enough capital, I would have installed a solar panel to provide light.
iska haka wadda za ta samu man da hasken wutar lantarki in samu iska wadatacce ko.
As the nation grapples with inflation, the future of these family-run staples hangs in the balance. Will they be able to adapt and survive, or will the rising tide of economic hardship force them to close their doors? Only time will tell. Jamilu Mabai, Trust TV, Katsina.
The 2024 Eid al-Kabir has come and gone, but not without some spiritual and contemporary lessons. In the spirit of sharing, love, neighborliness, and togetherness, some Katsina residents who were opportune to slaughter sacrificial animals share with those who lack or those who don't have, as enshrined by the Islam. Some families visited by Trust TV News crew said though what they have is by far below what they used to have due to the economic downturn, they still have to demonstrate and imbibe the culture and tradition as practicalized by the Prophet of Islam, Muhammad, peace be upon him. Abdullahi Ahmadi completes the story.
This family of 15 slaughters 4 to 5 rams every festive period like this, but managed only one this year due to harsh economic realities occasioned by fuel subsidy removal, uncontrolled inflation and insecurity, as well as continuous devaluation of the naira. Yet, as Islamic tradition provides, the family still uphold the spirit of sharing among neighbors, relatives, and friends, among others. Dr. Nasir Gidadu is the head of the family.
The situation of today is far beyond our expectation. It is something that we are all feeling it. So, sincerely speaking, it was very hard to cope up with. But alhamdulillah, we were able to get the little we can do, despite the economic hardship. But it is very unfortunate, sincerely speaking.
Contrary to this family, Yahya Zaka, a father of 11 with 2 wives, could not slaughter a ram. In fact, he could not even make a salah meal for his children, not even to talk of new clothes as obtained in the previous years. He lamented harsh economic predicaments facing the country, emphasizing that it is unfortunate for Nigeria to have more than half of its population going hungry despite its huge human and natural resources. The situation on the ground is very critical. I know of families who could not get 1 square meal in 3 days. How do you expect them to think of buying animal for sacrifice? Now, how do you expect me to buy sacrificial animal for 100 to 150,000 naira while my family are hungry? To me, the priority is food.
Throughout,
Experts suggest immediate implementation of policies and programs that could lead to salvaging citizens from hunger and starvation, ravaging millions of Nigerian families. Abdullahi Ismail Ahmadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
Fish business is gradually returning to its peak in Maiduguri, the Borno state capital, following progress made in decimating the Boko Haram terrorists and the restoration of relative peace across the state. Trust TV's Adamu Ngulde reports that hundreds of youths have now engaged or are engaged in the supply of fresh, smoked and dry fish from the fishing communities in Baga, Dabar Masara, Damasak and Monguno, where local fishermen supply to wholesalers in Maiduguri, the state capital. His report is presented from the studio.
When Trust TV visited the popular Bagarod market, it was observed that a reasonable number of young men were busy selling different varieties of fresh and live fishes to prospective buyers and small-scale traders, while in another section, youth and laborers were engaged in different activities to earn a living in the market. A fish trader at Bagarod Market, Haruna Idi, said the roads linking the fishing communities were recently opened by the military and state government as a result of the relative peace that has been restored, with traders going to the communities to buy in large quantities for onward supply in the market. We now have varieties of fish like catfish, tilapia, bonga, among others, that are now available for consumers in the market. The fishes are supplied from Baga and Damasak, while others come from Dawashi, Alau, in Jere local government area. On the price difference, Isa Shuaibu, another fish dealer, explained that factors such as sizes, quantity, and type determine how much they sell, adding that the return of fishing activities has also provided job opportunities for unemployed youths in Maiduguri. We have been jobless for more than 10 years. After all, the major fishing communities were shut down due to the Boko Haram insurgency. All roads leading to the fishing communities were locked down, but now the roads have been reopened and fish is being brought from Baga, Doron Baga, Monguno, Dawashi, Damasak, and Gaidam in Yobe State, among others. Trust TV gathered that in the past, only youth from Gwenge area of Maiduguri metropolis traded fish here in Bagarod Market, but now many young men from Sabalai, London Chiki, Bulumkutu, and other areas are involved in selling, dissecting, cleaning, and loading the fish into vehicles, among other activities to earn a living. One of the laborers at the Bagarod Market, Umar Abubakar, who is also an SS2 student, said the return of the fish market has helped him support his displaced family and aid his educational pursuit in Maiduguri. According to him, since his parents, who were displaced from Gusamala, settled at the host community in Maiduguri, he decided to join other young men at the fish market to earn a living. I thank God because on a daily basis I make between 1,000 and 2,000 naira depending on the availability of jobs in the market. I dissect and clean the fish for customers whenever they buy from the traders and they pay us for the services. We get more work when operators of restaurants buy the fish because of the quantity. Trust TV gathered that the return of fishing activities has led to an increase in the number of people, both male and female, frying and selling fresh fish by the roadside in Maiduguri.
Some residents, mostly traders from different communities within the Kaduna metropolis, on Wednesday staged a peaceful protest calling for the prosecution of former governor of Kaduna State, Nasiru El-Rufai, who has been accused of embezzling over 400 billion naira. The protesters are demanding that the money said to have been allegedly diverted by the administration of former Governor El-Rufai should be returned for the development of the state. The report
came few days after the immediate past governor of the state, Nasiru El-Rufai, in a video shared widely on social media, called on Governor Obasani to focus on working for the people of the state instead of beating around the bush. The protesters are asking for the return of the money allegedly siphoned by the RFI administration for the development of the state. We are demanding that the loans secured by the previous administration should be released to help in developing the state and the youth in particular.
We voted for El-Rufai for 2 terms to move the state forward, but the reverse is the case, as his government left the state in serious debt. We want the state's resources back to government coffers.
All we are after is for the monies that we are misappropriated to bring back to the state government through due process. If the previous government claims that projects were executed, let them bring out the evidence. According to them, the protest is to serve as deterrent to future leaders in the state and also entrench accountability in governance. We were not supported by anybody. It's now that we have the freedom to express our grievances over the alleged irregularities by the past government. That is why we are doing this. If the present governor fails to deliver, we will call him out too. Doing this out of love for the development of the state, not because anyone is behind it. The present government should take a cue from what is happening to RFI, or else he will face the same fate. Earlier, the commissioners who served under Nasru RFI in a release described the report by the ad hoc committee of the Kaduna State House of Assembly as false and an attempt to dent the credibility of the RFI administration. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde has approved the appointment of Oba Olabi Olakuleyin as the 43rd Olubadan of Ibadan land. The governor gave the approval in a memo signed on June 14, 2024, in exercise of the powers conferred on him by Section 19, Cap 28, Laws of Oyo State 2000 as amended. In a statement signed by the governor's spokesperson, Suleiman Olarenwaju, said the Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, Olusegun Olayiwola, announced the approval and added that the approval was a culmination of a series of processes stipulated by the extant laws of the state regarding accession to the royal thrones. The statement added that the governor congratulated the new Olubadan, praying that his tenure will birth greater developments in Ibadan land and Oyo State as a whole. Recalled that the Olubadan stool became vacant after the demise of the late Olubadan of Ibadan land, Oba Lekon Balogun, who reigned for 2 years and died at the age of 81 on the 14th of March, 2024. You're watching News Hour on Trust TV. The news continues after this break. Welcome back. In business, the Nigerian government has announced that it is sending its first citizen into space. The Director General of the National Space Research and Development Agency, NASDRA, Matthew Adepoju, made this known at a media conference in Abuja on Wednesday. He said that the government had signed a Memorandum of Understanding, MOU, with the Space Exploration and Research Agency, SERA, to facilitate the ambitious venture. According to him, the collaboration which is coming to the country marks a significant milestone in Nigeria's 25th anniversary of space exploration journey and opens new opportunities for scientific research and technological advancement. The agency said that 90% of security challenges facing maritime sector in the country can be tackled by geostationary satellite. The Nigeria Customs Service has reported a remarkable 74% growth in revenue collection over the past year, according to the Comptroller General of the Nigeria Customs Service, Bashiru Adewale Adeniyi. The Customs Board says they recorded a total revenue collection of 4.49 trillion naira between June 2023 and May 2024, compared to the 2.58 trillion naira collected during the corresponding period of the previous year. The Comptroller General also highlighted the commitment of the agency protecting the society, improving national security, and mitigating food inflation, among other issues.
The customs anti-smuggling efforts in the past year have intensified, resulting in significant interceptions, high-valued seizures, and numerous arrests. Notably, I just mentioned some few of them, including the seizure of 63 items related to animal and wildlife products valued at over 566 million naira. Additionally, 7 arms of arms and ammunition were made through our ports and borders. In terms of illicit drugs, a combined total of 127 cases involving narcotics and pharmaceutical products were seized, valued at over 6 million naira. In a bid to guarantee food security and suppress the smuggling of food in and out of the country, the service recorded 1,744 cases of rice and grain seizures, all valued at 4.4 billion naira. This concerted efforts underscores our commitment to protecting the society and ensuring our national self-sufficiency.
The National Palm Produce Association of Nigeria says Nigeria spends $600 million on palm oil importation annually. National President of the association, Alfonso Inyang, stated this in Abuja. He described the expenses, or rather the expenditure, as unhealthy for national development. Inyang said the money could be saved and injected into the economy if the palm oil subsector is given due attention by successive governments. The president regretted that Nigeria, which has self-sufficiency in palm oil production in the past, now spends huge amounts to import same product. Inyang recalled that in the 60s, Nigeria was #1 in palm oil production and exportation globally, controlling over 60% of world palm oil. Nigeria has requested an 18-month extension on the closing date of the World Bank's $800 million palliative loan in a strategic move to bolster its social safety net programs amidst rising inflation and economic challenges. According to a restructuring paper document on the project from the World Bank, the Nigerian government has requested the extension on the closing date of the project from June 30th, 2024 to December 31st, 2025. The extension seeks to realign project timeliness and enhance the efficacy of the National Social Safety Net Program scale-up. The chairmanship of the project's National Steering Committee will be changed from the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation to the Minister of Finance. In the first restructuring and extension of the project's closing date, on the foreign scene, South Africa has begun a new era, President Cyril Ramaphosa announced, and as he was sworn in for a second full term in office. He remains in office even though his party, the African National Congress, ANC, failed to secure a majority in the parliament during last month's election. The ANC subsequently made a deal with its long-term rival, Democratic Alliance, DA, and other parties to form a coalition government. Ramaphosa hailed the government during his inauguration speech, but also warned that unless it addressed deep inequalities, the country could become unstable. Dignitaries and African heads of states who graced the inauguration included the leader of Nigeria, Angola, Zimbabwe, Congo-Brazzaville, and Eswatini. They all gathered in the Nelson Mandela Amphitheater outside the Union Building in Pretoria for the event.
As the President of the Republic of South Africa, I will work with everyone to reach out and work with every political party and sector that is willing to contribute to finding solutions to the challenges our country faces as we transition to a new decade of freedom. 30 years have passed since we turned our back on racial tyranny and embraced an open and democratic society. We've made great strides in building a new society that is founded on strong democratic institutions and universal freedoms.
A deadly fire broke out at a huge military ammunition depot in Chad's capital, N'Djamena, sending powerful explosions into the night sky and shaking buildings miles away. The explosions from the late Tuesday blaze turned the sky red and could be heard miles away as ordnance fire fired off in flames at regular intervals. Government spokesman Abdurrahman Kolomale said early Wednesday that the cause was not criminal, but an investigation is underway. He said the death toll is still being established, noting that there were not many civilian victims. According to initial indications, several people died in the ammunition storeroom. Now we join Emmanuel Fashemi with sports news.
Olympian Commonwealth gold medalist and Nigerian discus thrower Chioma Onyekwere has unveiled a new kit designed by her outfit at the 2024 AFN National Trials. She unveiled the kit at the National Trials at the Samuel Ogbomdia Stadium, Benin City, Edo State. Onyekwere was back at the top of the Nigerian women's discus event, reclaiming her national title after 3 years. The mechanical engineering threw 59.43 meters to win the title, beating African Games champion Obiageri Amechi, who threw 59.25 meters for second place. Ashley Anumba finished third in the event with a throw of 57.00 meters. Recall, the trials were used to select the Nigerian track and field teams for the African Senior Athletics Championship in Douala, Cameroon, the World Athletics Under-20 Championships in Peru, and the Paris Olympic Games. The Nigerian Football Federation has confirmed her participation at the 2024 CAF Beach Soccer African Cup of Nations, with the qualification series coming up in July. While disclosing these on Wednesday, the NFF said a committee will be inaugurated on Thursday with the responsibility of making sure that the team has a successful participation in the AFCON qualifiers and finals. Nigeria's last appearance in any beach soccer tournament was the 2019 World Cup in Paraguay, where the Super Sand Eagles exited the competition without a win. The Beach Soccer Subcommittee is responsible for the organization of all beach soccer competitions and also deal with all matters relating to beach soccer. Nigeria has been a continental and to some extent global powerhouse in beach soccer in previous years, with the Super Sand Eagles winning the Beach Soccer Africa Cup of Nations in 2007 and 2009 and reaching the quarterfinals of the FIFA Beach Soccer World Cup in Italy 13 years ago. The Confederation of African Football last week conducted the draw for this year's Beach Soccer Africa Cup of Nations qualifying series, with the Super Sand Eagles drawn to play Mauritania home and away in July. Mauritania will host the Super Sand Eagles in the first leg between 19th and 21st July, with Nigeria hosting the return leg 29th July 2024. A total of 14 countries will be involved in the qualifiers, with the 7 winners joining host Egypt at the finals. For the first time ever, the FIFA Beach Soccer World Cup will take place on African soil when Seychelles stages the tournament in 2025. And that is sports. I am Emmanuel Fashimi.
Sports news update concludes the news on News Hour, or rather on Trust TV. Do not forget to follow us across all our media platforms and join our YouTube live stream for more news, programs, and documentary. I am Muhammad Kudu Abubakar. Thank you for watching. Good night.